Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. It is opening day for the NPB, and we are going to be bringing you the game between the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Both of these ball clubs met last year in the Climax Series in the Pacific League, and they will go head-to-head here tonight to open up the series in 2026. We're first of all going to give you the starting lineup for the visitors from Hokkaido. Leading off tonight and in left field is number 53, Shun Mizutani. Hitting second and playing first base is number 21, Kataro Kiyomiya. Hitting third and playing in the DH role is number 99, Franmil Reyes. And the cleanup spot and playing third base is number 3, Yuya Gunji. Batting fifth in right field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Hitting in the sixth spot and in center field is number 12, Kota Yazawa. Batting seventh at shortstop is number 54, Shu Yamagata. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 64, Yua Tamiya. And batting ninth at second base is number 43, Tetsuki Mizuno. And they're going to be facing the ace, or not the ace, but at least tonight, the ace of the staff for the ball club for Fukuoka. It'll be Naoyuki Uesawa, who will take to the mound for the Hawks in this one. Now your starting lineup for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Leading off and playing in center field is number 23, Yukio Shudo. Batting second in right field is number 3, Kensuke Kondo. Hitting in the third spot in left field is number 32, Tatsuro Yanagamachi. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 9, Yuki Yanagita. Batting fifth at first base is number 5, Otake Yamakawa. Hitting sixth at shortstop is number 6, Kenta Imamiya. Batting in the seventh spot and playing third base is number 24, Ryoya Kurihara. Hitting eighth and doing the catching is number 62, Takashi Amino. Batting ninth at second base is number 8, Taisi Makihara. They're going to be facing the Sawamura Award winner in Hiromi Ito, who will take to the hill here for the Fighters tonight, as he will look to repeat his performance of last season, as it has already been speculated that this will be his last in a Fighter uniform, as it is expected that he is going to test the Major League Baseball waters at the end of the season. Well, those are your starting lineups. The first pitch is just around the corner. The ceremonial first pitch has just concluded, and we will be back in just a couple of moments with all the action right here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball. We know it is the season opener as the Hawks and the Fighters are going to be getting it going here in just a moment, as Naoyuki Uesawa has just about completed his tune-up tosses. Full slate of games tonight around the NPB. It is Friday night baseball in Japan, and there are already a couple of games that are already underway. The Chichi Dragons had the bases loaded in the top of the first and came away with nothing. They were able to cash in a run in the top of the second and currently lead the Carp 1-0 in that one. The other game in the Central League going on at the bottom of the first inning, the Murray Giants have taken an early 1-0 lead over the Tigers in that one there. All the rest of the games are getting going at half past the hour. That will be the other game in the Central League. It'll be the Bay Stars hosting the Swallows. The other games in the Pacific League, Eagles are in Osaka to play the Buffaloes. The Lions are playing the crosstown rivals, the Chibolote Marines, the Zozo Marine Stadium, and that gets going in just a moment as well. Well, Uesawa has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one underway. Our friend User Cubs Pete Crow Armstrong in the house again tonight. How you doing? Welcome for joining us. So here we go. The first pitch of the season is ready to happen here for these two clubs, and it is a first pitch fastball that misses up and away at 94 miles an hour, and we are underway in Fukuoka. Mizutani batting from the right side, hit 277 during the 2025 campaign. As the pitch is a fastball swung on, it is grounded over to third, and an error by the third baseman right out of the gate. As that ball was eaten up, the third baseman, Ryoya Kurihara. So the first batter of the game is going to reach on the courtesy of an E5. It wasn't the hardest hit ball. It was an in-between hop that came up and caught him, but should have been a play that he needed to make. And it looked like it got him up just into the midsection, unable to make the play. And Mizutani is aboard, and that is going to bring up the first baseman in Kotaro Kiyomiya. So not quite the start for the Hawks in this one. Uesawa works himself into the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. That's off the mask of the catcher. Count is 0-1. So no balls and one strike. Kiyomiya hit 272 last year. He had 12 homers and 65 RBIs. Batting from the left side, getting the start at first base tonight as the right-hander works to the set. Now delivers. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes quickly to 0-2 on Kiyomiya. So no balls and two strikes. We are going to be back on the airwaves again tomorrow, so if you are around, be sure to join us, as we will be doing it all over again. As the pitch on the way, same two teams. Fastball swung on, lifted into deep right field. This ball is trouble. Back on the warning track, looking up, and this ball is gone. A two-run homer off the bat of Kotaro Kiyomiya, and the Fighters have jumped out to an early 2-0 lead here. So an error by the third baseman and a two-run shot by Kiyomiya have given the Fighters an early 2-0 lead in Fukuoka. So not quite the start that the Hawks were looking for. But Kotaro Kiyomiya with 2 RBIs to start his 2026 campaign gets the Fighters off and rolling. That is going to bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. And the first pitch on the way from Uesawa is a fastball that misses way upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Hawks with the early 2-0 lead here. I often wonder sometimes with the home teams, especially on an opening day, there's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded to third. Fielded by Kiyomiya, ranging to his left. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Reyes on a ground out 5-3 for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. One of the things I often wonder is the jitters, opening day jitters for the home team in that first inning. Sometimes it's better to come to bat than it is to play in the field and get the nervousness out of your system, get into the flow of the game when you come up to the plate. That was a really interesting swing by Kiyomiya. He really pulled his hands inside, and it hardly looked like he got any extension through the ball. There's a first pitch, split finger swung on and missed by Gunji, and the count's quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Trying to get some of the updates, at least on it. It's not really giving us much of the feed. The feed that we do have coming from the NPB, I don't know if they've got their feeds working properly. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count now goes to 0-2. It is officially, I gave him an error, but it is officially, the score has given the third baseman Kurihara an error as well. So Uesawa getting tagged for unearned runs. So Gunji at the plate, and the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, and it's on the fists, hit foul on the first base line, and the count remains at 0-2. Fighters are in the black jerseys tonight with the sort of a lime green or a lighter than lime, more like a teal trim He's kind of a flashy uniform. It's all black, including the pants. Hawks are in their traditional home whites with the gold and black trim. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses outside. Count goes to 1-2 on Gunji. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Osawa getting his sign from his battery mate Umino, and he works himself into the delivery as he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line, but it's going to drift foul into the seats, and the count remains at 1-2. Defensively tonight for the Hawks, from left to right field, it's Yanagamachi in left. The center fielder is Shudo, and in right, it is Kondo. Around the horn from first to third, Yamakawa gets the nod at first. At second, it's Makihara. At short, Imamiya. And at third, Kurihara, with Uwasawa and Amino as the battery. Here's the 0-2 again. Breaking ball swung on, bounced on one hop back to the pitcher. Uwasawa fields it. He fires a dart to first base. And that is going to retire Gunji on a ground out, 1-3. He's in the books for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it up to the right fielder in Chusei Manami. Our Filipino friend is in the house. He says this will be either the year of the Tiger or the year of the Fighter. I honestly think that if you've seen our picks in the posts, we posted them up. We have both the Fighters and the Tigers to win the respective divisions, but I don't think they're going to meet in the Japan series. Here's the pitch. And there's a breaking ball that is taken for a call strike. Delayed call by the home plate umpire, like to go up with the right hand. So no ball's a 1 strike to Manami. The 25-year-old Manami batting from the right side here against the right-handing throwing Uwasawa as he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted to deep left field. This is trouble. And this ball is going to be gone. The fireworks have started here in the first inning early. That's the second home run of the inning as Chusei Manami has gone deep. And the Fighters have increased their lead to 3-0. As he rounds the bases, the visiting Fighter crowd that is in the outfield have the flags waving in Fukuoka. So 3-0 lead here for the Fighters. That's going to bring up the center fielder in Kodi Yazawa. So high fives all the way around. It was a split finger pitch that forgot to split. Hung right up in the zone, and Manami turned on it and made no doubt about it as that ball got out in a hurry. And the first pitch is a split finger pitch swung on and missed by Yazawa, and the count is quickly 0-1. I was saying about the year, I do believe that in our predictions, I could see a rematch between the Tigers and the Hawks in the Japan series. But I do think the Fighters are going to take the leap and win the league, as there is a breaking ball that's taken for a call strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Yazawa. Yazawa hit .247 last year with a homer and 18 RBIs. He was listed as a dual. He did pitch and play a position for the Fighters a couple of years ago, but it looks like primarily they've settled on him in the outfield, as that fastball is lifted foul down the line in left field, and the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. We'll come back to you tomorrow night with the same 2 teams. We're going to take Saturday off, and then we're going to have a couple of scheduled games on Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Monday, Tuesday, North American time. Split finger pitch misses in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-2 on Yazawa. Good stop there by Ameno. He was able to get down and block it. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Right-hander delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled away off the glove of the catcher, and the count remains a 1-2. Our Filipino friends, it says it's now 2-0 for the Dragons. Dragons had that opportunity in the first inning. They loaded the bases with 1 out, and they couldn't cash. And I thought, oh boy, that could be a problem. Well, for them getting back in the saddle to score a couple of runs, that's a good thing for them. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Meno has to throw to first, and it's going to go as a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout. Not a great throw by the catcher, but Yamakawa able to haul it in, and that's going to do it here. Well, The Fighters draw first blood. They had 3 runs in the inning on 2 hits. Both of them were home runs. There was an error, and there was nobody left aboard. Your score as we are through a half inning. It is the Fighters with a 3-0 lead. Stick around, everybody. Hawks coming to bat in the bottom of the first. It is NPB Baseball on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel when we return after this. Welcome back, everybody. Hiromi Ito has just completed his 2-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action. As it will be the top of the order to come to bat in the first inning for the Hawks. That means Yukio Shudo, Kensuke Kondo, and Tetsuro Yanagamachi to face the right-hander here. Well, they jumped them for 3 runs in the first inning, did the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fires, and that is where we're at right now, a 3-0 lead. There is all kinds of scoring going on around the NPB tonight so far. We'll get you caught up on that throughout the evening. As the first pitch ready to come here from Ito, kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses low, and the count is 1-0 to Shudo. Shudo, the Pacific League stolen base leader in 2025. It's important that the Fighters keep him off the base paths. He can wreak havoc. So the right-hander ready to deal again as he kicks and fires a fastball that just misses down and in, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Shudo with that slightly open stance really runs well as the center fielder takes a center cut fastball for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is. As mentioned, we'll keep you the eyes on the scoring. The only game that doesn't have any runs is the game between Chiba and the Saitama Cebu Lions. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled on everything else. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses. Ooh, thinking for a called strike. Late, got to hold in here with the home plate umpire as he is very late to raise the hand. So we have to make sure that we're holding our ground steady. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. On its way, fastball swung on. This is going to be lifted into center field. Racing in is the center fielder Yazawa, and he's going to make the catch. And he dives. Everybody waits for the call from the second base umpire, but up went the right hand. We're going to see if they're going to take a peek at it or not. I don't think they're going to challenge. We're going to get a look at the replay. That's the speed of Yazawa as well, as he was able to come in. And did he make the grab? Oh, no, I think they better go up and have a look at this one. I don't know if they're going to challenge or not. Unlike in Major League Baseball where they're working the crowd for the phone. I think they're going to get away with that one. So no challenge there, but it looked like he had trapped it. There's a first pitch fastball to Kondo taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. I kind of like that too. You shouldn't have the advantage to go look at a replay yourself before challenging. You have to make the decision straight away. Kind of like the ABS rule in Major League Baseball where you got about 2 seconds to make a call. Fastball misses up, and the count is a 1-1 now here to Kondo. Caught the end of the Guardians-Mariner game, and Cal Raleigh was at the plate. And he got punched out on strikes, but if he would have challenged it, and they had challenges left, it would have been a ball. There's a fastball swung on, is lifted into right field, not deep enough. Moving over underneath it as the right fielder, Manami, and he's there to make the catch, and we've got 2 quick outs here. That's going to leave it up to the left fielder and Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Our Filipino friend said last night, Murakami hit his first home run as a White Sox. Yeah, it was interesting that game. White Sox got smoked by the Brewers 14-2. They hit a leadoff home run to begin the ball game. It was Chase Madero hit a home run. Then the Brewers went on to score 14 runs. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Yanagamachi. And then Murakami hit the home run late, and that bookended the game. So 2 White Sox runs at the front and the back end and 14 Brewer runs in between. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And it's a breaking ball. It misses down. The count's 1-1. Defensively tonight for the Fighters from left to right field, Mizutani in left. Center fielder is Yazawa. In right field, it's Manami. Around the horn from first to third, it's Kiyomiya at first. The second baseman tonight is Mizuno. At short, it is Yamagata. And at third, Gunji. With the battery of Ito and Tamiya. There's a fastball swung on. It is ripped into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And Yanagamachi's aboard with a 1-out single. And that is going to bring the ageless Yuki Yanagita to the plate. Well, for Yanagita, as he steps to the dish, there's been talk that it is going to be his last season this year in a Hawk uniform. Now, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how everything plays out, but there has been a lot of talk circulating that this will be his swan song. He's had a challenge of staying healthy the last couple of years, missed a lot of ball games. But when he's healthy, he is as dangerous as they come, as he bats from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Ito. And the first pitch fastball misses down in the dirt. Tamiya fields it, and the runner over at first, Yanagamachi, thought about taking off. But he returns safely back to the bag at first. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yanagita. Our friend God is Great in the house says hello from the land of the rising sun. Lots of scoring all around here in the NPB. As the right-hander delivers, it is a fastball down, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Full slate of action as everything is underway and cooking in the NPB. As we said, back tomorrow night, it'll be 10 o'clock Pacific or 1 o'clock Eastern if you're thinking of coming by. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. On the way, fastball misses down. The count now goes to 3-0 on Yanagita. So 3 balls and no strikes. And our friend God is Great says he's watching it on television. I didn't look to see who is picking up the stream tonight on this game or that as well, as they throw over to first base, and getting back easily is Yanagamachi. Sometimes they make the announcements of where the game is going to be broadcast and how it's going to be broadcast. If I'm not mistaken, I think it is Yahoo. There was a fastball taken for a called strike. Yanagita was ready to go to first base. And the right hand of the home plate umpire has brought him back. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike. Looks like all over the place. Looks like the television broadcast is on Fukuoka Broadcasting, Sapporo TV1, Tokyo MX, NHK, and Sports Live. So you have a variety of stuff to be able to go to. There is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Yanagita. So Yanagita not happy with the last 2 calls. He thought he's been able to get ball 4. Nice pitch there by Ito. DAZN, Rakuten TV, Baseball Live all have the streaming applications if you have yourself a VPN, and maybe can get that there for yourselves. As the 3-2 pitch forthcoming here, but get your wallet out. As Ito ready to deliver, pitch on the way, fastball taken for a called third strike. 3 pitches on the inside corner, and Yanagita didn't like any of them. And he's gone down looking for the third out of the inning, and that's going to do it here for the Hawks designated hitter. Well, they had no runs in the inning. They did have a hit. No errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 1 complete. It is the Fighters with a 3-0 lead over the Hawks. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back at the call at the top of the second inning when we return after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Back in just a few. The score is right now 3-0 for the Fighters over the Hawks, and we'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. The first pitch that Naoyuki Uesawa delivered to Sho Yamagata was a breaking ball that he hit on the screws on one hop to Taisi Bakihara, who fielded it and threw him out at first for the first out of the inning here. So 1 gone to start the top of the second, and it's going to bring Yua Tamiya to the plate. Bakihara getting the chance to play with the World Baseball Classic team for Japan. As batting from the left side here is Tamiya. He had a small role with them. He played in the outfield, came on late defensively in a lot of cases. As the pitch is a fastball swung on, it has popped up behind home plate, giving chase as the catcher Amino all the way to the backstop. But he's going to run out of real estate. That's going to run the count quickly to 0-1 on Tamiya. So no balls and 1 strike. A little amazed at the amount of scoring that has gone on. As we said, the only game that doesn't have anything is that game between Chiba and the Lions. Everywhere else, there are runs all over the place here tonight. Sometimes, though, once the game settles in and tightens down, it becomes harder for the teams to be able to push runs across, and that's always when the team scores in the first inning, have they run out of gas. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Tamiya. You see that sometimes, although the other day for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Paul Skeens didn't quite have that same luck. Gave a bunch up in the first inning, as there is a breaking ball down in the dirt. And Amino is going to chase down the line Tamiya, but he's going to run all the way to first base, but he was able to get rid of the ball. It's going to be a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout. And Tamiya is in the books for out number 2, and that's going to bring up the second baseman in Tatsuki Mizuno. Well, for Mizuno, he's getting the nod at second base here tonight. He predominantly played shortstop last year for the Fighters, but it is going to be Yamagata who is getting the nod out of spring training, as the first pitch on the way is a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Wonder if that'll be a permanent move. Last year, Kazunori Ishii, who has made his way to the Sanaba Cebu Lions, got a lot of playing time at second. As there is a fastball that misses upstairs. They appeal to the third base umpire, but they say that Mizuno didn't go, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Right-hander ready to deliver again. Kicks and fires. Fastball misses up and away. Count now 3-0 to Mizuno. Top of the order is Shin Mizutani waiting his turn on deck. As Iwasawa ready to go again. Pitch on the way. Fastball at the knees taken for a called strike, and the count now runs to 3-1 on Mizuno. I can understand the frustration of Yuki Yanagita as he is taking it a little bit slow. As Yanagita was punched out on strikes, there's a breaking ball that swung on and missed, and sort of the Yanagita was, what I say, taking it slow, as home plate umpire is very deliberate with his calls. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is here to Mizuno as Iwasawa ready to go again. Working himself into the belt, and here comes the offering. And the pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and is lifted into deep left center field, giving chase is Shuto. He's at the edge of the warning track. He makes the catch, and that is going to do it, as that is going to retire Mizuno for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, they go in order here, the Fighters do, in the 2nd inning. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're now through 1.5. Your score is the Fighters 3 and the Hawks no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Our Filipino friend says, and as usual, the Dodgers continue to be the beast of the MLB. Yeah, they won 8-2 tonight over the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll be back in just a couple with all the action right after this musical timeout. It is a 3-0 Fighter lead. We'll be back in just a few with all the action.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Welcome back, everybody. Hiromi Ito has completed his tune-up tosses, and we're ready to resume the action, as it'll be Hotake Yamakawa, Kenta Imamiya, and Ryoya Kurihara to come to bat here in inning number 2. The 34-year-old Yamakawa hit .226 last year with 23 homers and 62 runs driven in. As the first pitch from Ito on the way, as a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Yamakawa. So the ball is a 1 strike. A lot of big bats and a lot of depth in the Hawks lineup. As you could argue, they can go 7 hitters deep, maybe even 8, depending on who they roll out, as the pitch is a fastball that misses down and away. Count goes even to 1-1. Count batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Ito. He really holds the bat up over his head. He's able to get the hands into that launch position as he almost like hitches it downward. And the pitch is a fastball that is swung on. It is hit into deep left field. Moving over toward the foul line. Underneath it now is Mizutani, and he's there to make the catch. It's going to retire Yamakawa for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here. It'll bring up the shortstop in Kenta Imamiya. The big fella Yamakawa had some pretty good seasons with the Saitama Cebu Lions before applying his trade. With the Fukuoka Ball Club, he had got shipped out in disgrace from the Lions, had some off-field issues as the pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-0 to Imamiya. Imamiya, 34 years old, another player on the wrong side of 30. I was saying the Hawks last year, they're going to have to start retooling some of the offense in terms of getting a little bit younger. There was a fastball swung on it as tap foul right at home plate. Count goes to 0-2. You think it's some of the players that are on the wrong side of 30. You've got Kondo, you've got Yanagita, you got Yamakawa, you got Imamiya, all in the heart of the order. And so certainly Imamiya not at the top of his game as he was a few years ago, still a very good player. Very productive, solid pros pro, very good fielder, great bunter, as he has the Pacific League record for most sacrifice bunts. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 1-2 on Imamiya. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the second inning, 3-0 Fighter lead. As the right-hander kicks and fires, there's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 2-2. Peeking in at that scoreboard, the Dragons up 2-0, but the Carp are knocking on the door. They got a couple of runners on in the bottom of the third. Giants up 2-0 on the Tigers. But it is the Swallows who have taken the lead now over Yokohama 2-1 in the top of the second. Fastball swung on and lifted foul, and the count is going to remain at 2-2. I wonder how the Swallows are going to do this year. You lose your best player in Murakami, and they've just been languishing at the bottom of the cellar in the Central League. It doesn't look like there's a lot of hope for that ball club to get out. And certainly with the emergence of the Dragons and some of the other teams picking up some quality players, there's a breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count now runs full to Imamiya. The Tohoku Rocket and Golden Eagles in the top of the second inning have extended their lead over the Buffaloes to 4-0. They're threatening to look to add to more. They've got a couple of runners aboard. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Imamiya as he kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to get looped into left center field, and it's going to get down for a base hit in front of Mizutani. So a one-out single here by Imamiya, and that's going to bring up the third baseman in Ryoya Kurihara. So Kurihara stepping to the plate. I've seen some people predicting that he might be a candidate for the Pacific League MVP. I don't know too many MVPs who bat 7th, but then I don't know too many league leaders in batting average at bat 9th, and that's where Taisi Makihara is. But Kurihara at some point has to make a step here for the Hawks. As we said, he's one of the younger players, but not all that young. He's at 29 years old. He's on the south side of 30. As the right-hander ready to deliver again, Ito holds to the set. Kicks and fires. Fastball misses down and in. The count is 1-0 to Kurihara. One challenge, too, with the Hawks is after the loss to Takuya Kai, not that Kai was a particularly an major offensive threat. Takashi Umino does not really have a presence in the lineup offensively. But they hopefully got to get a little more production out of him this year. There's a fastball swung on its chop foul over on the first base side. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander Ino leans in, gets the sign from his catcher Tamiya, and he works himself set again. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on. This is hit into deep center field, racing back and looking up. And this one's, come on, a home run. A 2-run shot off the bat of Ryoya Kurihara, and the Hawks have cut the lead to 3-2. Maybe that's why people are talking about him possibly being an MVP candidate. They're going to need production from Curry Hart, and they're going to need him to stay healthy this year if the Hawks are going to continue to do damage in the Pacific. So a 2-run shot, which has cut the lead to 3-2, and that is going to bring up the catcher in Takashi Amino. Ball absolutely was hammered into center field, just a little bit left of center. As the outfielders there ran out of real estate. Here comes the first pitch to Amino. And that is a fastball that is waved at. Count is quickly 0-1. He looked like he was full. Looked like he was looking for something different. Amino, the 28-year-old, hit .220 last year. No homers and 21 runs batted in. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count now runs even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Eagles are now up 7-0 on the Buffaloes. That game is at the Kyocera Dome, so they are off and running. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into shallow right field. Coming in on it as Manami, he's underneath it. He makes the catch, and that is going to retire Amino for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it up to the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. As we mentioned, Makihara last year led the Pacific League in batting average, but he had to have one of the most abysmal playoff runs for a while. I think he was at one stretch like 0 for 21 in the playoffs last year, to the point they had to take him out of the lineup. He was just absolutely went cold with the bat. First pitch breaking ball misses down and in. The count is 1-0. All games now have scores as Chiba has taken a 1-0 lead over the Lions. As the right-hander Ito kicks and fires, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field, but he just got underneath it. Yazawa there, he makes the catch, and that's going to do it. As the Hawks are going to be gone here in the second, but they've clawed back to within a run. No runs in the inning. There were 2 hits, including the big home run by Ryoya Kurihara. There were no errors and nobody left the board. Your score, as we now go to the top of the third inning, it is the Fighters 3 and the Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a few on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. That is one way to atone for your error defensively, is step up and drill a ball into the seats. That's exactly what Ryoya Kurihara did as he began the ball game with an error behind his pitcher to start the ball game, and obviously didn't take it to bat with him a couple innings later. Well, that brings to the plate the top of the order. The first pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Shun Mizutani. Mizutani was the beneficiary of that error as he reached in the first inning to lead off the ball game. There was a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Mizutani batting from the right side. 31 pitches for Uesawa through the first 2 innings as the right-hander delivers. Breaking ball is swung on, and it has hit foul over on the first base side, and down in the batter's box goes Mizutani. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is. Get a look at that one there. He just lost his footing, and he went for a skate right across the plate. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the right-hander ready to go again. As he kicks and delivers a fastball that misses way upstairs. The count now goes to 3-1 on Mizutani. Mizutani batting from that right side, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Uesawa. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to third. A diving play by Kurihara. He gets up, he fires to first, but they say it's not going to be in time. We'll get a look at it. I don't think it was in time. A fantastic play as he dove to the foul line side to make the play. Got to his feet quickly, gunned it across the infield. It was a fair ball, said the third base umpire. Got up and fired it across, but Mizutani does run well. He's able to beat it out for an infield single. So no complaints about that effort. Nice job there by the third baseman, but unable to retire the runner. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Kentaro Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya 1 for 1 tonight, hit the home run to put the Fighters in the lead here as he takes a split finger pitch down and in. The count is 1-0. He had hit that 2-run shot, putting the Fighters out in front here early as the crowd is giving him their support. Here comes the pitch. Fastball down. Another good stop there by Ameno, and the count goes to 2-0. A concern for Uesawa is he can be able to throw enough strikes, and is he going to be able to keep the pitch count in check? You know, if this game ends up getting to the bullpens, and certainly with a lead, the Hawks become very, very, very tough. The right-hander holds to the set. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball misses up, and the count now goes to 3-0. Waiting on deck is the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. Eagles continue to put a pounding on as they have a 8-0 lead now in the top of the second. Buffaloes have gone to their bullpen already, so not a grand opening night for the Oryx Buffaloes. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the left field line, moving over underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch. Is the left fielder Yanagamachi, and that's going to retire Kiyomiya for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here. It's going to bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. So right now, the ground ball to fly ball ratio for Uesawa, he's got 3 ground balls and he's got 2 fly ball outs for ones that have been put in play. He has recorded a couple of strikeouts. He could use a ground ball right now as Franmil Reyes is a double play candidate. Big fella batting from the right side. He takes a fastball outside, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Reyes waggling the bat. He's got a little different look this year. He's got almost purple on all his shin guards and hand guards as he swings at that fastball and taps it foul over on the third base side. The count now runs even to 1-1. Uesawa throws a steady diet of split finger pitches to the hitters. His grip's a little bit different sometimes. It's not quite maybe around where the 2 seams are the narrowest. Sometimes he's got his fingers up a little bit higher. Pitch on the way. Fastball blows it right by Reyes at 94 miles an hour on the gun. The count now goes to 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One gone here in the third as the 1-2 pitch ready to go. Keep an eye on the runner over at first. Mizutani can run. He doesn't run a ton, but he can run a little bit. As the 1-2 is on the way, there's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into deep center field. Racing over and with room to make the catch is Shudo. He's going to fire it back in, and retreating back to first is Mizutani. That's going to retire Reyes for the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. Well, for Gunji, 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded right back to the pitcher his first time up. He gets the nod at third base tonight in this one. I take a look at this lineup that the manager has rolled out, and I do believe that this is probably the best lineup, or the lineup that he feels is the best that they can produce, at least offensively. And there's other players, but I don't see anybody else other than this as the starting lineup. Once they start making their substitutions through the year, into the playoffs, this is who I'd expect to see out on the field. As they throw over to first base and diving back in time is the runner Mizutani. Osawa now agrees with his catcher Imeno, and he's ready to go again. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball that just catches for a called strike. Oh, Gunji didn't like that one. A lot of unhappy players for both teams tonight with some of the calls from the home plate umpire. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander Uwasawa works himself to the belt. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball just misses outside, and the count now goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Pretty much players at any level just ask for one thing: consistency. If you're going to be consistent, call the same thing all the time, every time. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as the right-hander holds again to the set. Kicks and delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike. Oh, I think Gunji was looking for something else. That was probably the pitch he wanted, but wasn't ready to pull the trigger. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Sauer approaching the 50 pitch mark already here in the inning, or in the inning, the third inning of work. It's going to be 48, pitch number 48 on the way. Here's the 1-2. Fastball swung on and line foul into the netting down the first base line, and the count remains at 1-2. Interesting tonight that they had some different start times around the NPB. I've kind of been critical over the last couple of years where a lot of games will go off at the same time. It's opening day. You'd think that maybe they would start some earlier, or maybe even started one with a day game, but not so in Japan. A lot of the traditions are the same. There's a split finger pitch swung on into the netting again down the first base line. The count remains at 1-2. But I guess that's progress. A 15 and a 30-minute staggered start. This one here, normally games go off at 6 o'clock local time, or 1800 hours on the military clock. But the fact that they started 1 game at that top of the hour, 1 game at 15 past, and 4 games at the bottom of the hour shows they're thinking about stuff. Certainly people will watch baseball, whether it's their team or somebody else, on opening day, I would think. As they throw over to first base and diving back is the base runner, Mizutani. Here comes the 1-2 pitch again to Gunji. As right-hander works himself to the belt. Now the pitch is on the way. It's a split finger down. As time has been called, they're going to exchange baseballs. Runs the count to 2-2. Good stop there by Imeno again. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, the key here is going to be are the fighters going to be able to put up some more runs? They got their 3 in the first, and we were talking before about how sometimes the bats can go quiet. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, fielded by Imamiya. He's going to go to first, and that's going to do it as Gunji's going to ground out 6-3. That will do it here for the Fighters in inning number 3. Well, they had no runs in the inning. They did get a hit. There was no errors. 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom half of inning number 3. It is the Fighters 3 and the Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Throughout the night, we'll keep you entertained with our friend Steve Rademacher, and this is a little bit about him right now.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name. And I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 3rd inning, or the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll be the top of the order to come to bat for the Fighters in this one. Yukio Shudo, Kensuke Kondo, and Tatsuro Yanagamachi, the 1-2-3 hitters. To face the right-hander Hiromi Ito, has just completed his tune-up tosses. So Ito will be ready to get this one back underway. His blemish, a 2-run shot off the bat of Ryoya Kurihara in the 2nd inning to cut the lead to 3-2. That is where we stand here. Not an empty seat in the house in Fukuoka at the PayPay Dome, as one would expect. Opening day brings everybody to the party. So Ito ready to go to work here as he is going to face Shudo for the 2nd time. Shudo flew out to center field his first time up. First pitch, fastball misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Shudo, on the replay, we noted that the ball actually bounced. The Hawks chose not to challenge it. But it ended up being a ball that was trapped. As they would have challenged, they would have won it. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Ito delivers. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count runs even to 1-1. That's the risk sometimes you take, whether you're going to do it. Are you going to do it on the first batter of the ball game, or they lose the challenge? Could be a little bit more important later on. Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung on. It's lifted into left field. Camping out underneath it is Mizutani. He's got plenty of room and space. He's there to make the catch. Shudo retired for the 2nd out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the right fielder in Kensuke Kondo. Well, for Kondo, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to right field his first time up. A lot of fly ball outs here from Ito tonight. In fact, of the outs in the ball game thus far, he has 1 strikeout to his name, and the other 6 have all been in the air. As the first pitch on the way to Kondo is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. And PB action will be across the channel this year. We said at the beginning of the year our goal was to get 150 games in total. The exhibition play and World Baseball Classic, there's a fastball swung on, is belted into deep right field. This ball is trouble, and this ball is gone, and we are tied up at 3 as Kensuke Kondo has gone yard off of Ito. And just like that, the Hawks have clawed themselves back to tie the ball game up at 3. As Kondo gets a round of applause, former Hawk feeling pretty good about doing the damage to his teammates. A couple of former Hawks or former Fighter doing it to their former team tonight. Kondo now, and of course the starting pitcher Uesawa was one time a Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighter. So 3-3 now the score here in the bottom of the third. Threes all the way around. That's going to bring Tetsuro Yanagamachi to the plate. He takes a first pitch breaking ball over for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Yanagamachi 1 for 1 tonight. He singled in the first inning. As the right-hander Ito delivers, it's a breaking ball missing down and in, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. If you just joined us, it was a 3-run first inning with a couple of home runs for the Fighters. 2-run shot by Kiyomiya and a solo shot by Minami. As there's a fastball swung on, chopped softly over to first. Fielded neatly by Kiyomiya. He's going to step on the bag, and it's going to be a ground out to 3 for out number 2. And that'll leave it all up to Yuki Yanagita. The Hawks got 2 runs back in their second inning on a 2-run shot by Ryoya Kurihara, and then Kensuke Kondo with a solo shot here in the third, and it is now all back to where we were, all square at 3. So that's going to bring Yanagita to the plate. He struck out looking his first time up, and he swings at a first pitch breaking ball and fouls it away. Count is 0-1. Yanagita was ahead in the count 3-0, and then he took 3 called strikes on the inside corner. A couple of fastballs and a breaking ball. Didn't like the call on any of them. But Ito was able to hit his spot each and every time, according to the home plate umpire. So here comes the right-hander who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball missing upstairs, and the count runs even to 1-1 on Yanagita. As we mentioned earlier, we're going to try to make our picks on the daily. But we know that that's probably not going to happen all year long. There's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count goes to 2-1 on Yanagita. So he prefaced that as we're going to do as much as we can when we can. Get that out for everybody. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. On away, fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base dugout. The count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ito ready to go again as he works himself to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball golfed into straightaway center field. Moving over underneath it is Yazawa. He's got room to make the catch, and Yanagita is going to be retired for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here in the third inning. They had 1 run in the inning. It was solo shot off the bat of Kensuke Kondo. 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're now third of the game in the books, and it is all locked up at 3s. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. 3-3 is your score as we move to the top of the 4th inning. Break back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Chusei Manami, Kota Yazawa, and Shuya Magana to come to bat here in inning number 4 to face the starter, Naoyuki Uesawa, in his 4th inning work. 51 pitches through the first 3 for the Fukuoka right-hander, and there's a fastball that comes inside and is fouled away by Mizutani. Ball ran in on Manami ran in on the fists and tied him up. It snowballs and a strike. Manami hit the solo shot to give the Fighters, or extend the Fighters' lead to 3-0 back in the first. And Uesawa has really settled down at this point. Pitch on the way. It is a split finger pitch that bounces up to the plate. The count now goes to 1-1. Chusei Manami. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Tomorrow night, game will go off at 10 o'clock Pacific or 1 o'clock if you are on the East Coast. As there's a fastball swung through and missed, the count goes to 1-2 of Miami. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Tomorrow's pitching matchups have been announced. It's going to be Haru Matsumoto going for the Hawks, as there's a fastball that misses up, but they appeal over to the first base umpire, and they say that Manami didn't go. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's going to be Tatsu for the Fighters. He will get the opportunity for them, as he was 8-2 last year. Kota Tatsu. Fastball swung on and lifted into the seats, foul down the right field line. Count remains at 2-2. In his 16 starts last year, Tatsu had 3 complete games. And one would think that the fellow who turned 22 years old today will get an opportunity to be a regular starter this year for the Fighters. 2-2 on the way. Breaking ball just misses down and away. Count goes to 3-2 on Manami. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Uesawa ready to go again. It works at a decent rate. And now Manami has asked for time and give the Fukuoka pitcher a little bit more time to think about what he's doing. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the right-hander ready to go again. As he gets the sign from his catcher, he works himself to the belt. And now the 3-2 on the way. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field, and it's going to get down in front of Kondo. He takes it on 1 hop, and he fires it back in, and that's going to hold Manami to a long single. Nice job by Kondo. He had to leap in the air because the ball took a wicked hop off the turf. So he is... At first is Manami, as he went the other way with the pitch, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Kota Yazawa. Well, for Yazawa, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his only time up. He did that to end the first inning. Manami establishing his lead over at first base. Manager Shinjo all masked up. And squaring to bunt, and he gets it down the first baseline, and it's just going to roll foul as Yamakawa is there to pick it up. So no balls and 1 strike to Yazawa. Look, it wasn't really a sacrifice. It was more of a late drag bunt, but really it was a bit of an awkward drag bunt. The pitcher was coming inside. It looked like he had... I would say it was really late. It was late, and then it looked like he had almost kind of chopped at it. Like he wasn't sure if he was going to try to push it or if he was going to try to take it with him down the line. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle. Mamiya goes to second for 1. Back to first. It's not going to be in time. Well, we might want to have a look at that one. Yazawa, who does run well. Let's see if they are going to have a review here. We're going to look at it ourselves. Mamiya gets it. He goes to the Makihara at second for the first out. No, it's the right decision. Yazawa beat it out. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. 6-4 to erase Manami for the first out. Yazawa safe over on the back end, and that's going to bring the shortstop in Shi Yamagata to the plate. Yamagata 0 for 1. He had grounded out to second his first time up. And he pitches a fastball, taken for a called strike. There goes the runner down to second, and the throw's going to be in time. But we're going to have a quick look at it here, as does the big boss, as he comes right out of his seat. He wants him to go upstairs. So we have a stolen base, and we're going up for a review. I'll give you my thoughts on this in a second. We'll see if... I said I was going to do this year. Every time that they have a review, we're going to keep score if we get it right. Or if we get it wrong, we'll get a look at the replay ourselves and render our decision before the umpires do. As they go off under the hoods, and we're waiting for the replays ourselves. So we've got a decision coming. We're going to look at the replay here. The first angle that we get was a good jump, a good throw by Umino, too, by the way. Throw looked like it was a short hop. Oh, no, he caught it on the fly. Oh, I see why. Terrible tag by Makihara. I think he's going to be safe. I'll make that call straight away. He is going to be safe at second base. Makihara missed the tag. Ball should have been taken right to the base. Instead, he was reaching for the base runner. The tag ended up coming on the knee or the backside of the knee. But I do believe that he was able to get in. So I'm going to say that this call is going to stand. We're going to wait for the umpires here in just a moment. That's another thing, too. If you can't make a decision within 30 seconds, you've got to be able to carry on. As far as I'm concerned, sometimes even the replay officials don't get things right. As we still continue to wait, we've seen the replay now about a half dozen times, and we're still waiting for the call to come through. And it looks like now that the official is getting the response or the information he needs, and we're about to get ourselves a call here. So off goes the headset. Here he comes. And he is going to signal safe. So good. We are 1 for 1 on our review. And so that means that the fighters will retain a challenge. Some more scoring going on around the NPB. Giants now have a 3-1 lead over the Tigers. That's in the bottom of the fifth inning. As we keep you up to date on all the other scoring around the NPB. So here comes the 0-1 pitch to Yamagawa, and it's going to misses down, and the count now goes to ball and a strike. That's Yamagata, by the way, at the plate. Yazawa is at second with the stolen bases, first of the year. Be a lot of firsts in this game here tonight. So here comes the 0-1 pitch as Yamagata waits on the offering from the right-hander. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on, grounded foul over on the first base side, and the count now goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Top of the fourth inning. Game is all locked at 3s. Right-hander Uesawa holding to the set. And here comes the pitch. Kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch missing down. Another good stop there by Mano, and the count runs now to 2-2. On deck is the catcher Yua Tamiya. Outfield is playing a little bit shallow. They're going to try to take a shot at the runner at the plate. Should there be a base hit? But I have to tell you, Yazawa runs really well. I think if I'm Yazawa, I'm challenging every outfield arm that the Hawks have at this time of the game. There's a fastball that just misses a little bit low. That's going to run the count now to 3-2 on Yamagata. We're going to look at the replay. That pitch looked pretty darn good, but what was good about it was how the catcher received the ball, as the pitch was down in the zone. Good job by Umeno, but he couldn't sell it. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander again works himself to the belt. And now the pitch on the way. It is a split-finger pitch, swung on and missed. Yamagata going for the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the catcher Inua Tamiya. Well, for Tamiya, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his only time to the plate. As Iwasawa ready to go again. Nods in agreement, does the right-hander, as he works himself to the belt. Chucks the runner over at second, and here comes the offering to the left-handed hitting Tamiya. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Just like in Major League Baseball, opening night in the NPB. As the right-hander ready to deliver again. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 0-2 on Tamiya. Breaking ball that Iwasawa throws, it's almost a 12-6 variety. Straight up and down. It's almost kind of the way that his split finger pitch moves at times and the way that 12-6 moves is not much of a difference. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit, and that's going to get a run in. Kondo fields it. He fires it back in, but that is going to bring Yazawa across. So a RBI single off the bat at Tamiya. That's not a good pitch by the pitcher, Iwasawa. It was too good a pitch at 0-2. As Tamiya was able to fight it off and get himself a base hit, and the Fighters have regained the lead here. And now have a scoreline of 4-3. That is going to bring up the 9-hole hitter in Tatsuki Mizuno. Well, for Mizuno, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to center his first time up. And the first pitch is a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Mizuno bats from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Iwasawa as the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on. It's going to get looped over the head of the shortstop. Going to get down into the left field. Stopping at second is going to be Tamiya. So that one there, not exactly a hammered ball, but again, as he was ahead in the count, that's going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound here to have a couple of words with Iwasawa. That puts runners at first and second. It's going to bring Shun Mizutani to the plate. We're going to have ourselves a little timeout here as the pitching coach Carano is on the hill talking to his right-hander. So it's been 3 hits in the inning here. They've cashed 1 run in, have the Fighters to regain the lead 4-3. The legs of Yozawa were able to steal a base and get all the way around to score. So Iwasawa here on the hill, ready to face the left fielder in Mizutani. Mizutani 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and he's reached on an error. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball missing down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. Mizutani extends the bat away from his body, wangles it a little bit, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander. Here's the pitch. Fastball lifted foul over on the first base side. The count 1 strike. Again, the right-hander ready to deliver as Uesawa works himself to the set position. Here comes the 1-1. Oh, fastball right in the middle of the back of Mizutani. And that is going to load the bases as he's been hit by a pitch. It's going to bring Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. So it's gone from bad to worse right now for the starter Uesawa as he's loaded the bases. Everything's come with 2 out. They scored the run with 2 out. All of the hits, the hit, and a hit by pitch after that fielder's choice by Yazawa has been able to produce the run, and they've got the threat brewing here as they got the bases loaded with 2 gone. So threatening again here are the fighters. Speaking of threatening, the bases are also loaded. That game between Chiba and the Lions. Chiba looking to extend their lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch to Kiyomiya. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to him. Kiyomiya delivered the big blow in the 1st inning, hitting a 2-run shot to open up the scoring for the fighters. He then flew out to left field in the 3rd. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball center cut for a called strike. It's now 0-2. Well, this has been the story here for Uesawa. Get ahead in the count and then let the hitters off of the hook. So we'll see if he's going to be able to put away Kiyomiya here or if this is where he lets down. So here comes the 0-2 offering as the right-hander works himself to the belt. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball. Lifted foul down the left field line. Good piece of defensive hitting by Kiyomiya to stay alive. Count remains at 0 strikes. 4-3 fighters in the lead. They can smell blood. They're looking for more. Right-hander Uesawa ready to deliver again. Runners have their leads. 0-2 on the way. And there's a fastball that misses way up in the zone. The count now goes to 1-2 on Kiyomiya. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Uesawa nodding in agreement with his catcher, ready to go again. Again, working to the set position. Here's the 1-2. Pitch on the way, split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Catcher picks it up, steps on the plate, and that is going to do it. It's going to be a strikeout, but it's going to be a fielder's choice. It'll be Tamiya that is erased for the 3rd out of the inning, if you're keeping score along with us at home. And that is going to do it here in the 4th. Well, the fighters regain the lead, 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. Your scores, we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. That is now the fighters with a 4-3 lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action as we are with you on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back after this as the Hawks are coming to hit. It is a 4-3 lead for the fighters. Hawks coming to bat in their half of the 4th. Stay with us, everybody. It's a seesaw affair with lots of runs. And we'll be back in just a few after this timeout. Welcome back to everybody. It is going to be Hotake Yamakawa, Kenta Imamiya, and Ryoya Kurihara to come to bat here in inning number 4. As Hiromi Ito kicks and delivers. First pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Yamakawa. Yamakawa batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Ito. He's 0 for 1 tonight as he flew up to left field his first time up. As the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the right-hander has now reached the 50 pitch mark of the ball game here. A little bit more effective than his counterpart. As the pitch is on the way, there is a fastball swung on. This ball is belted down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. And this ball is just going to hook foul. Oh, Yamakawa, he sent it a long way, just not far enough. He's got some lightning quick hands. He can get into the contact zone in a big-time hurry. Looked like it was a split finger, another one that didn't really split so much. Thought at first it looked like a two-seamer, but it was off of the seams was Ito. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, and this time it's not going to be missed as Yamakawa has tied the ball game. That ball is going to go into the seats in left center field, and the home runs continue here in Fukuoka. A solo shot off the bat of Yamakawa, and we're all back square again. It is now a 4-4 ball game as Yamakawa rounds the bases. So this game here, the story of the long ball. 3 home runs hit tonight by the Hawks. 2 home runs hit by the Fighters. The Hawks have tied it back up here as it is 4-4 here in the last of the 4th. It's going to bring Kenta Imamiya to the plate. Well, for Imamiya, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled his last time up. And the first pitch to Imamiya is taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. So it looks like we're going to be in for a slugfest here in Fukuoka as the runs are piling up all around the NPB. There was talk about that the league was looking for more juice in the ball this year. There's a ball popped up over on the shortstop side. Underneath it and making the catch is Yamagata, and that's going to retire Imamiya for the first out of the inning. I think they had done something to the balls. Yes, and you can see that the balls are flying out of the park in Fukuoka. Either that or they've got big fans and jet streams behind the plate. But I don't think that is the case. 4-6-0 for the Fighters, 4-5-1 for the Hawks as Kurihara takes a wild rip at a fastball, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. We've been saying in the NPB that the home runs have been on the decline pretty much over the last 10 years. Fastball that misses inside. Count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Waggling the bat is the left-handed hitting Kurihara. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kurihara's blast went almost to straightaway center field, just a little bit to the left Center field is first time up as the pitch on the way is a fastball missing way upstairs. Counts now 2-2 to Kurihara. It's the bottom of the fourth inning, and you've missed a lot because we have, if you just joined us, there have been all kinds of fireworks tonight. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to lift it into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Kurihara aboard with a 1-out single. It's his second hit of the evening, and that's going to bring up the catcher in Takeshi Amino. Looked like it was, again, another split-finger pitch from Ito that really didn't split. Had a little bit of arm side rung, hung up in the zone. But not a lot of depth to that pitch here for the right-hander. So that brings Amino to the plate, who's 0 for 1 tonight. He has flown out to right field his first time up, and he's doing what we would expect. He's already squaring to bunt. As Ito steps off the mound and feigns a throw over to first. So again, squaring to bunt as the right-hander holds himself to the set. And here's the pitch. It is bunted and it's down. It's decent. They're going to go to second. They can't get the runner at second, and they're safe at first. Oh, Tamiya, I'm not sure what you were doing. But everybody's going to be safe all the way around. Kurihara slid into second base. He was safe. They tried to come on the backside, but Amino got down the line in a big-time hurry. He's safe at first, and now the Fighters got themselves in a pickle here. Amino with a nice job. Good job by Kurihara to get down to second, and Amino on the trail side. So that'll go in the books as a fielder's choice. It won't be a base hit. The throw down to second, it was a nice pick over at second base by the shortstop Yamagata. Had to pull that one out of the dirt. Well, that conference is over, and it's going to bring Taisi Makihara to the plate. Makihara 0 for 1 tonight has flown out to center field, his only trip up. Our Filipino friend says the Eagles and Buffaloes is a blowout game. Yeah, 8-0 in that one. I would have thought Hiroya Miyagi on opening night would get absolutely obliterated. But it is happening in Osaka. So here comes the pitch from Ito. As he delivers, it's a fastball that misses down and in. Count 1-0 to Makihara. If you've tuned in, you've tuned into a beauty here. If you've just tuned in, I should say. So the right-hander works himself into the set position, checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball down. It squirts away from Tamiya, but he's able to recover. Nobody advancing anywhere. So 2 balls and no strikes. Can't say the game tonight has had a quick pace to it. I was kind of rubbing my hands thinking maybe we're going to get ourselves a pitcher's duel here tonight. Ito on the mound, and then, of course, Wasawa at home. Looked like a tasty pitching matchup, but somebody forgot to tell the hitters that, as they have brought the lumber tonight. Here's the pitch. Fastball missing down and away, and that's 3-0. He's about to load the bases, is Ito. The top of the order is looming here, as Yukio Shudo waits his turn on deck. So the left-handed hitting Makihara waiting here on the offering from the right-hander. Ito checks the runner, now delivers. There is a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 3-1 on Makihara. Makihara can be selective here. He can really hunt a pitch. Got to put a good swing on a good pitch. So here comes the 3-1 as right-hander Ito holds to the set. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats. That was at 94 on the gun. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Makihara. That's probably the most surprising game was the game between the Buffaloes and the Eagles, 8-0. At least it's surprising for us. I don't really have the Eagles doing a whole lot this year, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. 3-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, lifted in deep left center field. Might be enough to get the runner over to third. Making the catch is Yazawa, but no. As having to retreat back to second is Kurihara. I don't know what he's doing. That's going to be a fly out to center field out the bat of Makihara. He's gone for the second out. I don't understand the base running there in that situation. You think the runner, Yazawa's a left-handed thrower. He's moving into left center field to have to catch the ball, and he's going to basically throw against the grain. You would have thought that maybe at second base that Kurihara would have tagged, or Kurihara would have been tagging up, but I think that's a base running mistake. So that brings Shudo to the plate, who is 0 for 2. He's flown to center and flown to left. As Ito ready to deliver, here comes the pitch. On the way, fastball taken for a called strike, and the count's 1-1. And the other part to that is that if Kurihara makes his way over to third, you got all kinds of ways you can score the runner from third, especially a pass ball or a wild pitch. Can't remember the last time, other than when Trevor Bauer got balked in exhibition play a couple of years ago against the Buffaloes. I can't remember any other pitcher getting charged with a balk. Fastball swung on and fouled away in the count. Now 0-2 to Shudo. But pass ball, wild pitch, different ways would have scored him. Our Filipino friend says that the fighters are coming for the Hawks. Well, yeah, they have to try to knock them off their perch, that's for sure. Do they have the team to do it? I guess we're going to have to wait and see. As I said, I think I've picked the fighters to win the league. I just don't know if they're going to win in the playoffs in the Climax Series. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. On the way. Fastball just misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Shudo. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shudo waggling the bat. And waiting here on the offering from the right-hander. Ito gets his sign. Here comes the 1-2. Finally, Ito gets something that he likes. Checks the runner over at second. Here's the pitch. Fastball in the inside corner, and Shudo knew it as soon as it came, as he stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 3, and that's going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of the 4th inning. Well, they get a run back, 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we now move to the top of the 5th inning. It's all locked up at 4s, courtesy of the Hotaka Yamakawa home run. We'll be back in just a little bit after this timeout.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Your score as we move to the 5th inning. It is a 4-4 ball game. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Franmil Reyes to come to bat here, then Gunji and Manami, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, to face Naoyuki Uesawa here at inning number 5. My guess is this might be the swan song for Uesawa. He has not been the most efficient with his pitches. First pitch, breaking ball, misses down and away, and the count is quickly 1-0. It's 79 pitches for the right-hander through his first 4 innings of work. Reyes waggling the bat, and the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, chopped over the head of the pitcher. Fielded by Makihara, he throws on the run, and a good pick over at first by Yamakawa. That's going to retire Reyes on a ground out 4-3. He's in the books for out number 1, and that'll bring up the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. As Gunji comes to the plate, he is 0 for 2 tonight, grounded to the pitcher and grounded to short in his 2 trips to the dish. Good play over at first base there by Yamakawa. Tough play there for Makihara as his momentum was taking him toward the dish. As there's a first pitch fastball swung on and lifted foul, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Gunji. Gunji batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Uesawa. Uesawa had a cup of coffee in the big leagues with the Red Sox and the Rays a couple of years ago. Breaking ball misses outside. Count goes to 1-1. Wasn't able to stick in either camp for any length of time, and back he is in Japan as the 1-1 pitch ready to come. Fastball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As we are keeping our eye on the scores around the NPB, there's a fastball swung on the Karpov, got on the board against the Dragons. As that ball reaches the seats, it's now 2-2 to Gunji. 2-1, the Dragons have lead on the Carp in the bottom of the 6th. Swallows have a 3-1 lead over the Bay Stars. That is in the bottom of the 5th inning. I don't know if I had that on my bingo card. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, chopped softly over to third. Kurihara fields it, fires to first. Oh boy, getting down the line was Gunji, but he's going to be retired on a ground out 5-3. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Chusei Manami to the plate. I would think that it could be a tale of 2 ball games here, because I think the scoring is going to be at a premium the rest of the way, almost to the point where next run might win. So Manami stepping to the plate, as he is 2 for 2 tonight. First pitch fastball swung off and fouled away off the catcher's mask. The ball is a 1 strike to Manami. Manami homered in the first inning, a solo shot, and he singled in the 4th. So he has reached base both times. Here comes the pitch from Uesawa. Kicks and delivers. Fastball misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-1. It was the 88th pitch delivered by Uesawa in this one. Again, the right-hander working to the set. Here comes the pitch. Split finger pitch down, but the home plate umpire said Manami went around. That's going to make the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 here. This is where Uesawa has got himself into trouble tonight with 2 strikes on the hitters and then giving up a knock. Find a way to put the hitters away. Here comes the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball on the outside corner. Not sure what Manami was looking for, but he's gone for excessive window shopping. He's out for out number 3, and that's going to do it here in the 5th. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. We are now through halfway in this one. 4.5 innings in the books. Your score is all locked up at 4s, Fighters and Hawks. Bottom of the 5th inning when we return after this musical timeout. We'll be right back in just a few. Appreciate you for being here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom of the 5th inning, and coming to bat will be Kensuke Kondo, Tetsuro Yanagamachi, and Yuki Yanagita to face the starter Hiromi Ito in this one. Well, maybe Naoyuki Uesawa will make another visit out to the mound. We'll have to see. He had a chat with his pitching coach at the end of the half inning. We'll see if he sticks around for another inning of work. I think the Hawks will have the hand on the phone for the bullpen for sure in the 6th inning. I can't see him going beyond 6. So Kondo ready to come to the plate here. He has got a homer in 2 trips. So 1 for 2 tonight. He is also flown out to right field in his other trip. As Ito ready to go to work here, and the first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on it, is lifted into deep center field. Moving over and with room to make the catch is Iazawa. It's going to put Kondo away on the first pitch he sees here in inning number 5. So 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up the left fielder in Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Well, for Yanagamachi, he is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also grounded out. As he's batting for the 3rd time here against Ito. As the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Yanagamachi kind of had a breakout season last year for the Hawks. His game has been getting better and better and better. And imagine if the Hawks still had Seiji Ubiyashi, who's really blossomed with the Dragons. There's a fastball at the knees taken for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. "70 pitches through 4 innings for Ito, a little bit more economical than his counterpart for the Hawks, as the pitch is ready to come here to the left-handed hitting Yanagamachi. It's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Ito nodding in agreement with his catcher, Tamiya. And here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball misses up. Count now goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander Ito ready to go. Holds again to the set. 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field, moving back on it, and on the warning track and making the catch is Yazawa. Oh boy, Yanagamachi hardly looked like he hit it. Looked like he got maybe too much underneath it, but he's going to fly out to center for the 2nd out. It's been a busy night in center field for Yazawa, and by our counts, if our math is correct, that's the 6th outfield putout for the center fielder. And that's just through 5 innings here, not even through a full 5. And that is going to bring to the plate Yuki Yanagita. Yanagita 0 for 2 has struck out and flown to center, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside. Count is 1-0. Yanagita was called out on strikes back in the first inning, not to his pleasure, that was for sure. Then he flew out to center his second time up. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, hammered into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit, and Yanagita is going to open his account for the 2026 season with his first hit of the year. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Hotaka Yamakawa. Our friend Chris is keeping us up to date on the Tiger-Giant battle. 7th inning. Yeah, the Tigers, my pick to win the Central League this year. I hope the Tigers have solved the issue of their left field production, because that was a big piece in the playoffs last year. Breaking ball will take it for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Yamakawa. Yamakawa homered his last time up. He also had flown to left field. As the right-hander Ito ready to deliver again. Holding to the set. He kicks and fires. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and now the count goes to 0-2 on Yamakawa. Looked like Yamakawa was trying to hit another one into the seats, as he was way out in front of that pitch. So Ito's got him in the hole at 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to the big fella, first baseman of the Hawks. Right-hander again holds set. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung through and missed. Oh, Yamakawa missed that one, and he knew it. And that is going to do it here in the 5th inning, as they are all gone with their 3 outs. That is no runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors. And there was 1 runner left aboard. Your scores were through 5 complete. It is all locked up at 4s. And for those of you who have been around us, we like to call this the Japanese halftime. We're going to take ourselves time out, put the music on loop, come back and give you the 6th inning in just a few, as they do like to take their 5-minute break. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kori Izawa, Shu Yamagata, and Yua Tamiya to come to bat here to begin the sixth inning. Our friend CV is in the house, so we welcome you into the stream. Hope you're doing good here. You were at the halftime point. Looks like we are going to have a relief pitcher, though, for the Hawks, as the first pitch is a fastball that is swung through and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. Hawks are going to their bullpen as they have brought in number 68, Hikaru Kimura, right-hander here, as he is taking over for Uwasawa. As the 0-1 pitch is on its way, it's a fastball that misses way outside. The count goes even at 1-1. I saw Kimura pitch in the exhibition play. And there's a lot to like about him. He's going to have to work on his command. There's a fastball that misses outside. Count is now 2-1. Yeah, that is evident in what we're seeing right now. He's got a lot of movement on his pitches. But can he have the touch and feel to throw him for strikes? Here's the 2-1. Fastball swung on, lifted into deep left center field. Giving chase is Shuto. He's on the warning track, and he's going to haul that one in. That is going to retire Yazawa for the first out of the inning. So one gone here. It's going to bring up the shortstop in Yamagata. Our friend Chris is giving us that update on the Tigers and Giants game. Yep. We'll update all the scores as we go periodically. Going to do it every half inning or so. We'll try to do it when there's some updates, or at least something worth talking about. Yamagata coming to the plate. He's 0-for-2. He has grounded out and struck out in his 2 trips. As I was saying before, the next team to score the next run is probably going to win the ball game here, as the bullpens are going to get tougher. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side, just past the third base dugout. Count is 0-1 on Yamagata. Right-hander against the right-hander. Kimura ready to deliver. Fastball swung on, chopped over to the left side, fielded by the third baseman, Kurihara. Throws to first. That's going to retire Yamagata on a ground out, 5-3. So he's in the books for the second out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the catcher in Yua Tamiya. So 2 quick outs here to begin the sixth inning. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Hawks. As Tamiya will come to the plate. Tamiya batting from the left side here against the right-hander. As Kimura working himself into that set, even though there's nobody on. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. It has popped up down the third base line. It could be playable. And leaping up, and he was on the netting. And he tried to haul it in, was Kurihara, but he unable to make the catch. The ball is going to get down for just a strike. Get a look at the replay. He literally scaled the netting. They have the netting on the temporary seating there. And he lost his left foot there into the side, and that just sort of hit above his glove. It's a very dangerous play as we take a look at the replay again. As he got up onto the temporary piece, but then his left foot got in between the net. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is ripped into right field, or right to the glove of the right fielder, Kondo, and that's going to do it. So 3 quick batters, 3 quick outs here in inning number 6, and that's going to do it for the Fighters as they go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. Your score is 4-4 between these two clubs. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the bottom of the 6th when we return after this from our friend Steve.
Thank you for that introduction, Freddie. Hey guys, Steve coming back at you today, and every day is opening day on my channel. I open everything from hot sauce to beer to deviled eggs to cans of soup to ravioli to sport card packs that you wouldn't believe. I open blasters of stuff. I open regular boxes of stuff. Speaking of hot sauce, I open hot sauce, which is often gifted to me from the community. I I have it all. I open up Star Wars by the tons, including the Family Guy Star Wars. I have a bunch of wrestling that I do open, and I do non-sport cards like crazy. As you can see, we have it all. I even open Marvel, tons and tons of Marvel cards. But you never know, on my channel, you just may have a little trouble with tribbles too. Remember, opening day, every day. Thank you, Freddie. See you in the funny pages, guys.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. In turn, we'd like to support Steve Rademacher. Be sure after the game, go check him out. Let him know Last Raps Baseball sent you. It is going to be Kenta Imamiya, Ryoya Kurihara, and Takashi Imino slated to come to bat here in inning number 6 for the Hawks. Nice job there by the reliever, Kimura, who came in and did his job very effectively. As we are ready to go to the next half inning. Looks like the Bay Stars are threatening. They got runners at the corners in the bottom of the 6th inning. It is a 3-2 Swallows lead in that one. As Imamiya will get this inning going here. The Eagles have added another runner up 9-0 now on the Buffaloes. Not quite the opening day they wanted. First pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Imamiya. 81 pitches through 5 for the starter Ito. As the right-hander works himself to the set. Now he kicks and he delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and it's lifted foul into the seats on the first base side of home plate. Count now 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes it is. One of the unique records in Major League Baseball came to an end today as Tyler O'Neill for the Baltimore Orioles, who had homered on 6 consecutive opening days, failed to do so today. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Mamiya down on strikes. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and then I'll bring up Ryoya Kurihara to the plate. And for Kurihara, he is 2 for 2 tonight. He's homered and he has singled in his 2 trips. For those of you who just joined us, 4-4 for the Hawks. Home runs have been the story in this one. 3 home runs off the bat of the Hawks, 2 home runs off the bats of the Fighters. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on. It's going to be lifted foul. And the count is quickly 0-1 here to Kurihara. Kurihara batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Ito. Works himself to the set, now delivers. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. So Ito out in front here. Curious to see if they're going to roll Ito for another inning. I think his pitches tell me yes. Not sure what the big boss would have in mind, but he is the ace of the staff. One would think for the Fighters as the 0-2 pitch forthcoming. And now he steps off the backside of the rubber. It'll go to the rosin bag. We'll do this all over again. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kurihara. 1 gone here in the bottom half of inning number 6. As the right-hander gets the side from his catcher and he works himself to the belt. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field. Another one for the center fielder Yazawa to put away. That is going to retire Kurihara. He's gone for out number 2. We were talking about this in the last half inning. That is 7 putouts here so far tonight for the center fielder. A busy night for the Fighters center fielder Yazawa. Very interesting. Wonder when the last time, wonder what the most putouts for a center fielder would be in a ball game. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on. This is belted down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it's just going to hook foul into the netting. Mano swinging the stick, flashing a little bit of power, but it's going to be a long strike for him. So no balls and 1 strike, and that is, as we get the replay of that one, it just didn't quite have enough real estate, but He took that foul by about 5 or 6 feet. That was it. So no balls, 1 strike as he's waiting here on the pitch from Ito. As the pitch is on the way, fastball swung on, and it's going to be lined over the head of the third baseman down the left field line into the corner. It'll be extra bases. Amino digging hard around first, and he's going to cruise into second with a 2-out double. That's going to bring up Taisi Makihara to the plate. So just like that, Hawks have a runner in scoring position with 2 gone. So Taisi Makihara coming to the plate. And then there'll be the top of the order in Yukio Shudo. So Makihara tonight 0 for 2. He's flown out to center field twice. Leaning in, getting us signs from Tamiya. The runner at second base. They're going to try to keep him close. Mino for a catcher runs fairly well. We saw that earlier. He was able to beat out the fielder's choice. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to get lined into the right center field gap. It's going to get down all the way to the wall. Don't have to worry about the runner trying to score as Makihara drives home Amino, and the Hawks have now taken a 5-4 lead on the base hit here by Makihara. Ball was absolutely scorched. Well, the outfield was playing in, and they had to play in because they had to try to play for the run at the plate. That looks like it's going to bring the manager Shinjo out. It looks like we're probably going to have a pitching change here as Ito's day will be done. He's out to talk to the manager. We're going to have ourselves a change. Ball was absolutely scorched. Well, as we wait for the pitching change, we're going to take a little time out here. 5-4 now for the Hawks if they have taken the lead. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action right after this timeout.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. Every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a pitching change as the Fighters are going to their bullpen. It'll be Yukio Shudo slated to come to bat, as it is Makihara who had drove home the go-ahead run here with a double. And they've got the top of the order slated to come to bat here. It looks like the pitching change. We haven't got the official announcement yet. We'll get you caught up on the out-of-town scores. 2-1 for the Dragons, bottom of the 7th inning over the Carp. 3-1 Giants have the lead over the Tigers in the bottom of the 8th. Game's in the deep water at that point. Swallows still 3-2 over the Bay Stars. That's in the top of the 7th. 2-1 for the Marines over the Lions. And it is 9-0 for the Eagles over the Buffaloes. Interesting in that score line there. Well, we have a left-hander. It's going to be Kenta Uhara who's going to be taking over here. So he will come on to face the Hawk hitters, the lefty out of the bullpen. So Kenta Uhara on in relief. So he has completed his tune-up tosses. We are ready to resume the action as it is Shudo coming to bat here. Shudo 0 for 3 today. He has flown out twice and struck out. Keeping the runner close at second is the shortstop of the Fighters. There's a fastball swung on. Popped up over on the left side of the infield. Over underneath it is the shortstop, Yamagata. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to retire Shudo on 1 pitch. So he's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that'll do it. here in the sixth. Well, the Hawks have taken the lead, 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. All the damage with 2 outs in the inning. Stick around, everybody. It's going to be the top of the 7th. It'll be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order to come to bat for the Fighters. 2/3 of the game is in the books. The best third is about to happen. We'll be back in just a few right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. The pitching parade is going to continue here for the Hawks as they're going to the bullpen. It is going to be a left-hander, and that's going to be Darwinzon Hernandez on in relief. So Hernandez on to take over here from Hikaru Kimura, who did his job in under 10 pitches. So the lefty Hernandez ready to take over as he is going to be slated to face the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order. The first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Tetsuki Mizuno. Mizuno is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single in 2 trips. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-1. I have to tell you, I do like the way that Hernandez pitches. I saw him last year, but you kind of make me wonder why he doesn't have a job in the big leagues. Left-hander who pumps gas. Fastball swung on and grounded foul past the bag at first base. The count goes to 1-2. And it looks like the Mizuno is going to have to go get himself a new piece of lumber as that one has been damaged in the battle. And I think when I watched Hernandez last year, a couple of things that when I watch him, and that is that he is a 1-inning guy. There's no doubt about it. And he comes in throwing hard, which he does do. His command can get away from him sometimes. I wonder if he loses focus possibly on the hitters as well. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, another one fouled off. Another one came under the hands as Mizuno had to fight that one off again. So 1-2 it is. Just his command, his touch, his feel seems to go away at times, but not that time, as there's a fastball right down the middle, taken for a called third strike. Mizuno's in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Shun Mizutani. That's what I like about Hernandez is that he can really, when he's on, he can pound the ball inside to the left-handed batters, as he did by breaking a bat to Mizuno, and then has the ability to just blow it right past hitters. There's a breaking ball that misses outside to Mizutani. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Mizutani today has been aboard each time he's come to the plate. He reached on an error, he has singled, and he's been hit by a pitch as he swings through that fastball, and the count now goes even at 1-1. That last pitch was at 96 on our radar gun. Again, the lefty kicks and fires. There's a center cut fastball taken for a called strike. Dialing it up a little bit faster. That was at 97. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as Hernandez delivers again. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into deep right field If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it's going to be gone. A home run as Mizutani has gone oppo. And that ball got out in a big-time hurry, a solo shot here. And that is going to even the home run tally as well, as both of the teams have now hit 3 each. So Mizutani reties the game. And we're back to all square again here in the top of the 7th. So this game turning into a certain slugfest. 5-5 as it is all locked up again. And that is going to bring up Kitaro Kiyomiya to the plate. And for Kiyomiya, well, he got the party started back in the first inning, hit the first homer of the game. As he swings and fouls that pitch away, and the count is 0-1. Kiyomiya, 1 for 3 tonight, the 2-run shot in inning number 1. He's also flown out to left and struck out in his other 2 trips. Pitch on the way, fastball misses up. 1 ball and 1 strike. 5-9-1 for the Hawks, 5-7-0 for the Fighters. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-2. The other thing I would say about Hernandez is I don't know if he's got a second pitch. He has a plus fastball for a left-handed pitcher, but there's a breaking ball that's waved on and missed, and that's going to retire Kiyomiya for the second out of the inning. But does he have another plus pitch? If he could throw that last pitch to lefties like that, that would be something that you would maybe say so. The disappointing thing about that count to Mizutani, he had 2 strikes on him when he took him yard. And there's the first pitch fastball delivered to Reyes. It swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. I don't have a stat for this, but they say, I've heard before, and I don't know where I can back it up, so I'll repeat it, but I'll preface it in this way. They say that more home runs are hit with 2 strikes than with any other strike count. So, like, in other words, if it's no strikes or 1 strike, not as many home runs are hit as if it was with 2, as that pitch was swung on and missed by Reyes. 1-2 to him. I've heard it, but I haven't seen it, and I haven't done the time to go and track a calculation to find out if it's true. There's a fastball swung on. It's going to be lined into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit, and Reyes is going to make his way over to first. So he is aboard with a single. It's going to bring Yuya Gunji to the plate. Again, too good a pitch from Hernandez. He had him 0-2, and he couldn't bury him. Just as he had Mizutani at 1-2 and couldn't bury him. So that would be something to keep your eye on Hernandez. Can he finish the hitters? Not just in this game, but maybe in the next little bit to begin the season. First pitch fastball swung on, popped up behind home plate. Underneath it is Ameno. It looks like he's got room. He's going to make the catch, and that's going to do it. Gunji's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Fighters are back in it. A solo shot off the bat as Shin Mizutani. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 6.5 innings. Your score is back to where we started. All square is 5-5. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Our Filipino friend says, what a game, and it's been very entertaining indeed. Not one that I would have expected here tonight between these 2 clubs. Back in just a few after this version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Everybody, it's 2 balls and no strikes to Kensuke Kondo as Kenta Uhara is back on the hill here for another half inning or another inning of work, as there's a fastball that misses. I'm not sure where it missed, but the umpire said it's now 3-0. Looked like it was right down the middle. So 3 balls and no strikes to Kensuke Kondo. Kondo, we 1 for 3 tonight, homered in his 3 trips. He's flown out twice. So it is the lefty Uhara who has taken over for Ito. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 3-1. Hawks will send Kondo, Yanagamachi, and Yanagita to the plate here in inning number 7. It's been a seesaw affair tonight, a heavyweight match indeed. As there's a pitch that's a fastball that just misses inside. The catcher, to me, I can't believe it, but Kondo is going to be aboard with a leadoff walk here. That's going to bring up the left fielder in Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Got to wonder if Yanagamachi would be in a position to bunt here. As we look around these scores, this game's been entertaining. The game with the Buffaloes and the Eagles, 10-0 for the Eagles. That is in the top of the 8th inning. Whew. Marines have a 2-1 lead over the Lions. That game is in the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 7th, it's the Swallows clinging to a 3-2 lead over the Bay Stars, and 2-1, the Dragons have the lead over the Carp in the top of the 8th. And they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Kondo. They often do that. They often throw over to first base. They're trying to get a read on the hands of the batter to see if they are going to consider to bunt. I'd be curious here, Yanagamachi, if he's going to try to get him over into scoring position. He does square to bunt, and that is going to be bunted foul, as that is going to run the count to 0-1. So Yanagamachi. Our friend Jimmy Redbird's Beard says hello and good morning, and welcome, Jimmy. We've had a seesaw affair tonight as these 2 teams have gone back and forth with the lead. And we are at 5-5 here in the 7th inning. Yanagamachi already scoring the bunt as the pitcher Uhara gets the side from his catcher. Here comes the 0-1. And it is down. It's a good one, fielded by Tamiya. His only play is going to be to first. As over to second goes Kondo. It's a nice sacrifice bunt. 2-4 in the books as the putout will go. And that'll bring up the designated hitter in Yuki Yanagita. So a couple of cracks to bring him home. So that brings Yanagita to the plate. He is 1 for 3. He's got a single in his 3 trips. He's also struck out looking and flown to center field. Runner at second, Kondo, 1 gone here in the 7th. Yanagita waiting here on the offering from the lefty Uhara. As the lefty works to the set. This could be a turning point in the ball game right here. I was saying earlier, the next run will probably win it. There's a check swing that's fouled away. And Yanagita couldn't hold up. He tried to pull back, but he fouled that one away on the third base side. No balls, a 1 strike. I think he knew it. As soon as he pulled the trigger, he couldn't stop. So no balls and 1 strike to the DH of the Hawks. Lefty Uhara holds to the set. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. So just as Hernandez is a pretty tough lefty, Uhara also can be nasty on the lefties as well. Jimmy Redbeard says he'll be listening and doing some painting. Go Hawks. Sweet. Glad to have you with us, Jimmy. So no balls and 2 strikes to Yanagita. Uhara holds to the set. Kondo, the runner at second. Here comes the pitch. Fastball down, and it gets away from the catcher, but it goes up the third base line, and Kondo unable to advance. Nice job by Tamiya to somewhat keep it in front. It was an unlucky ricochet bounce. That's going to put the count to 1-2 on Yanagita. Our friend Chris in the house. It is a nice day for the opener. Good morning. I'm glad you can make it in. Listening from jolly old England. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Great game for the opener. Good thing we didn't choose the Eagles and the Buffaloes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The lefty works himself to the set position. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and delivers. Fastball comes inside and just moves Yanagita off the plate. The count is 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I sure didn't have a 10 spot on my bingo card. For the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles tonight. Certainly against Miyagi. Here's a 2-2 pitch. On its way, fastball swung on a grounded foul over just past the first base coach's box. And the count now remains at 2-2 to Yanagita. The Hawk fans are cheering their club on. The supporters out in left field all on their feet. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Yanagita. Game has taken a bit of a turn in terms of the pace. And there's a breaking ball. Take it for a called third strike. Yanagita for the second time tonight. Standing there and out for excessive window shopping. He's gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Hotaka Yamakawa. And it's going to bring a conference to the mound here. I don't know if this is going to be the end for Uhara or if they're going to keep him in here. They're going to be facing the right-hander. Looks like he's still going to be left in, as whatever the words that Kato had to deliver weren't many. So the lefty here is going to be facing Hotaki Yamakawa with the runner at second, Kondo. 2 gone here in the inning. For Yamakawa, he's 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a homer and 3 trips. His home run was a solo shot back in the 4th inning that at that point in time had given the Hawks a lead, albeit only for a short bit of time. Here comes the offering from the lefty Uhara, who works himself set. Checks the runner over at second. Now delivers. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count quickly 0-1. Yamakawa took a big cut at that one. He wanted to hit that ball into the East Sea, I believe. So here comes the 0-1 pitch as Uhara again working set. And now he kicks and fires. Fastball misses down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, and up goes the right hand as he says that Yamakawa had one around. Yamakawa can't believe it. Yeah, I got to look at the replay. I can see why the First base umpire would have said so. Just couldn't hold up, made the effort. So here we go. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Yamakawa. Are looking to get out of the inning unscathed. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, pop foul into the seats behind home plate. Count remains at 0-2, so no balls and 2 strikes. All of the games are in the deep water around the rest of the league. Every other game is in the 8th inning. This is the only game that's still in the 7th. Opening night in the NPB. And no matter what happens here tonight, there's still 142 more to go. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball, waved at and missed, and Yamakawa's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here. Well, they strand a runner at second base after the leadoff walk to Kondo. He's unable to advance any further than second. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors. There was the runner left aboard. We are now through 7 complete. Moving to the top of the 8th inning. Your score is the Fighters 5 and the Hawks 5. We are going to have a pitching change, and we'll be back in just a few to bring that to you in just a couple of moments. Hang tight, everybody. It is Hawks and the Fighters. More action when we return after this musical timeout.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball. We know that they were waiting on the pitching change. It is going to be Chusei Minami, Kodi Ozawa, and Shu Yamagata slated to come to bat here in inning number 8. And it is going to be a right-hander. It is going to be number 66. That means it is going to be Yuki Matsumoto on in relief, as he will take over here as the 4th pitcher used by the Hawks in this one. So Matsumoto on in relief here of Darwinzon Hernandez. So the pace of the game will be picked up by the Hawks standpoint, and especially if they have to bring in the closer Sugiyama. They both are fairly efficient workers. There's a first pitch fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1. That was at 95 on the gun. For Minami today, he is officially 2 for 3. He's homered, singled, and struck out looking in his 3 trips to the plate. As the 1-0 pitch ready to come, fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats behind the first base dugout. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Our friend Jonathan Garcia says, greetings from New Jersey. And he says, let's go Fighters. He's got $50 on him. Thanks for stopping in on the stream tonight. Glad you could make it in. We'll be back again tomorrow night, so hopefully you can come on back again. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats again over on the first base side. The count 1-2 to Minami. They do play extra innings in the NPB, but they only play to 12. So if this game does go extras, it'll only be 12 innings in length. No ghost runners, so nobody starts at second. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-2. Home runs have been the story in this one tonight. Each team has 3 to their name. As the right-hander Matsumoto working himself into the set position. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side. Makihara diving into the hole to make the play. Throws to first, and that is going to retire Manami on a ground out 4-3. Nice play there by Makihara. So one in the books, that is going to bring up the center fielder in Kota Yazawa. Ball was hit hard, absolutely scorched by Chusei Manami. So great play there by the second baseman, flashing the leather. It's going to bring Yazawa to the plate. Yazawa officially 0 for 3 tonight. He's bounced into a fielder's choice, flown out, and struck out. He does have a stolen base, and he did score a run. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Yazawa. Yazawa hitting from the left side. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses up and away. Count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the right-hander Matsumoto delivers. Oh, breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. It looked like that Yazawa had given up on the pitch, and the ball just fell right into the strike zone. Bottom fell out. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Here's the pitch. Fastball comes under the hands and moves Yazawa off the plate. Count now to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander getting this sign from his catcher, working himself to the set position. And the 2-2 ready to come. Split figure pitch swung on, chopped softly down the first baseline. Oh my goodness, a play by Yamakawa. And he tries to get it and push it with his glove to the pitcher. It's going to be ruled as a hit, but that almost turned into a disaster. Yazawa with his speed, he was able to get down the line. So the ball was chopped. The pitcher was getting over to cover. Yamakawa gets it and tries to shovel it or pass it with his glove to the pitcher covering. Matsumoto, ball ended up at his feet, and luckily Makihara was able to get to the ball before any further damage was to be done. Oh, that was if the play would have worked, that would have been great, but it was too risky in the moment. So Yazawa with his speed is at first base. That is going to bring Shu Yamagata to the plate. Yamagata already squaring to bunt. As the first pitch coming here from Matsumoto. And now he steps off and feigns a throw over to first base. Getting back to the bag easily is Yazawa. So again, squaring to bunt. Now they fire over to first, and diving back in time is the runner Yazawa. As we mentioned, Yazawa has a stolen base already tonight. He's been all over the field tonight. 8 putouts defensively in the outfield. Extremely busy. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses outside, and the count now 1-0 to Yamagata. Just joined us. It's been a seesaw affair, as we've been talking about. Fighters with 3 runs in the first inning, a pair of home runs, a 2-run shot, and a solo shot. Gave an early 3-0 lead. Fighters have hit 3 of their own tonight. There's a ball that's bunted down the first baseline, but it's going to roll foul. Count 1-1 to Yamagata. Yamagata has not reached base tonight. He's grounded out twice and struck out. As he gets this sign from the third base coach. Now he steps back in at 1 ball and 1 strike. I think I might want to challenge the arm of the catcher again. Just a straight up, good old fashioned steal. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball down. Good stop by Ameno, but up goes the right hand of the home plate umpire. I think he thought that Yamagawa had offered at that one. We'll get a look at the replay again. Couldn't have been that's what it was. Yep. The batter had actually taken the bat all the way almost to the ground to bunt it. Pitch was definitely a ball, but he made the effort. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yamagawa. He's still squaring to bunt here in this situation. As the right-hander Matsumoto works to the set. Now he fires over to first, and diving back again is the runner. Just as a reminder, there's no pickoff limit here. It's not like Major League Baseball where you can only throw twice over to the bag. Throw as many times as you like. And here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander delivers. It is bunted. It's a decent one. They're going to get the runner to second. Matsumoto off the mound to field it. He fires to first. It's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to go in the books. 1-3 on the putout. As Yamagata has gone for the second out of the inning. Safe over at second is Yozawa, and it's going to bring Yua Tamiya to the plate. Well, we had a similar situation like this back in inning number 4. As it was Yozawa who had stolen a base to get himself into scoring position. We've got a conference on the mound here. And we're going to see how that's going to work. And that is the conference is over. So the pitching coach wanted to come out, talk about the situation here with the pitcher Matsumoto. So Yua Tamiya had driven in Yozawa from second base with a base hit. They are going to play shallow. As we said, Yozawa has a lot of wheels. So 1 for 3 and an RBI for Tamiya as he steps in. He's also struck out and lined out to right field. Our Filipino friend says, best opening game in the NPB this year. It's been very entertaining. Fastball swung on, popped up in the left side of the infield. It's playable in foul territory. Underneath it is Kurihara, who almost stepped on the base, having to make the catch, and he is going to retire Tamiya for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is all locked up at 5, so we'll be back in just a bit with all the action. Thanks for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom of the 8th inning. And it's going to be Kenta Imamiya, Ryoya Kurihara, and Takashi Umino to come to bat. And we're just waiting on the confirmation of another pitching change. As we look at the out-of-town scoreboard, top of the 9th inning, the Dragons with a 3-1 lead over the Carp, and they are threatening as they got the bases loaded. The pitching change for the Fighters, they're going to the bullpen. It's going to be number 37. It's going to be Gulin Ryu Yang. So the Taiwanese right-hander. We've got the start for Chinese Taipei. He is on in relief. The first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So Gu Lin, he has got his share of starts. Former Chinese League MVP. There is a fastball swung on. It's going to be lifted into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And aboard is Imamiya with a leadoff single here to start the 7th. And that'll bring up the third baseman in Ryoya Kurihara. So the second hit of the night for Imamiya. As he is aboard here. As the Bay Stars are trying to make a late comeback in Yokohama, that is for sure. 3-2 bottom of the 8th, they have a runner on, trailing the Swallows in that one. Not going to be a lot of wins for the Swallows this year, but they'll take an opening day win if they can get one. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count is 0-1 to Kurihara. Eagles up 10-0, and they looking for more in the 9th inning. And a final at the Tokyo Dome as the Giants beat the Tigers 3-1. The Marines have also knocked off the Lions 3-1 in Chiba. Fastball down. It gets away from the catcher all the way to the backstop. And advancing over to second base, it's going to be the Kenta Imamiya. That's going to put him there. It's going to be a wild pitch. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It was a split-finger pitch that bounced up to the plate, or bounced off of the plate in this case. And Tamiya, not a very good job by Tamiya. They tried to backhand it and ended up that it bounced, and it bounced right over top of him. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is here. We'll see if Kurihara can roll it over to the right side. It'll bring Imamiya 90 feet from the plate. Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung through and missed. That was at 97 on the gun. I didn't know that Gu Lin had that in him. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kurihara. As the right-hander again getting the sign. Pitch on the way. Fastball backs him off the plate, and the count now 2-2. Dragons have extended the lead over the Carp at 5-1 now. Top of the 9th inning. As they are separating themselves in that one. Yep, Dragons have blown the doors off the Carp. This is for sure. Here's the 2-2. Fastball swung on and missed. Oh, Kurihara, they needed you there. Instead, he goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Takashi Amino to the plate. Well, I guess if you're going to want somebody at the plate and you're the Hawks, you might as well be Amino here tonight. He is officially 1 for 3. He's reached base twice, once on a fielder's choice, the double, and scored the run in the 6th inning. And he flew out to right field, but he's had some good at-bats. So he steps in to face Gu Lin here. And the first pitch on the way, fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the right field line. Count quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Hawks have a runner at second with 1 gone here in the 8th inning. They're looking to punch a run across to take the lead. And then you got to think it'll be Sugiyama to try to close it out. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th for the Fighters, it'll be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order to come to bat. Fastball swung on, line to right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Up comes Minami, and stopping at third is going to be Imamiya as the ball's cut off by the first baseman, Kiyomiya. As I said, Imino's been swinging the bat well here tonight. Runners on the corners. That's going to bring Taisi Makihara to the plate. Well, buckle up, everybody. Keep your eyes peeled here for a safety squeeze or a suicide squeeze. You got to think that might be in the cards right now. So runners at the corners with one gone. And a conference on the mound ensuing here as the pitching coach Kato has come out to talk to Gu Lin. So he has had all of what he has to say. And that conference is over. So the Hawks are threatening here in their bottom half of the eighth inning. I will say this, though. They've taken a page out of North American playbook. They've really slowed the game down here late in the game. I guess they got to get those Asahi or Kirin or Sapporo ads out in between innings. So the infield is in at the corners, and they're also in up the middle as well. They're sort of in a halfway depth at second base to try to turn two. But there are wide holes at first, and the 4-hole and the 6-hole are really wide. There's a fastball down in the dirt. Good stop there by Tamiya. The runner did not advance from first. So 1 ball and no strikes. It's not the first time that Gu Lin has buried a pitch in the dirt. So 1 ball and no strikes. Again, the right-hander holding to the set position. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball swung on, belted into right field. And back and making the catch over the shoulder is Minami. Tagging at third and heading home is Imamiya with the go-ahead run. So that's going to be a sacrifice fly for Makihara. He's going to get himself his second RBI of the game. In to score comes Imamiya, and it's going to give the Hawks a 6-5 lead. Holding it first was Imino, and that's going to bring the top of the order in Yukio Shuda to the plate. That ball was absolutely scorched. Off the bat of Makihara, it sent Minami, because they were playing the outfield was in a bit shallow. He had to make a nice over-the-shoulder catch right on the edge of the warning track. And in to score the go-ahead run, Imamiya. So high fives all the way around. Brings Shudo to the plate, who is 0 for 4 tonight, and he swings at the first pitch and fouls that away. And the count is quickly 0-1. Shudo has popped to short, flown to left, flown to center, and struck out looking. That run will loom large. Our friend Jonathan says, thanks for the broadcast. He's got to get to work, and he's going to try to come tomorrow night, hopefully again. So hopefully you can make it in with us there. Jonathan, thank you for stopping in tonight and supporting the stream. As that pitch is taken for a ball, it's 1-1 now to Shudo. We'll try to get rid of all these middle of the night games replace them with the late evening games. Here's the 1-1. The fastball misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Shudo. Yep, the Hawks hanging around. And I said it in the first inning. I said sometimes when a team scores a bunch in the first, the bats go quiet. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. Well, the Fighters, to their credit, their bats didn't go quiet, but they have only put up 2 runs the rest of the game after sticking 3 on the board in inning number 1. You get a chance to bury a team. That's what you want to try to do, is put the foot on the gas and keep it there. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So waiting on the offering here from the right-hander. As Gulen delivers, it's a fastball that moves Shudo off the plate. The count now goes full. So the runner, Umino, will be on the move here when the pitcher delivers to the dish. And you got to think it's Sugiyama's turn in a couple of moments to try to finish off the deal for the Hawks. 3-2 on the way. Fastball misses way upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. And Shudo is going to be aboard with a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second. That's going to bring Kensuke Kondo to the plate. So tonight, really, walks haven't been the story in this one. As I look at the pitching line for the Fighters, I believe that's only the second walk that's been issued tonight. The other one came in the last inning when Uhara walked the leadoff hitter Kondo, who is now at the plate. So Kondo batting from the left side. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a home run and 3 trips. He's also drawn a walk. Pitch on the way. Fastball catches the outside corner for called strike. The count is 0-1. Be interested to see if they're going to use Gulen as a reliever this year or if they may consider putting him into the rotation. I don't know if I necessarily think he's best suited to come out of the pen. Right-hander holds to the set, now delivers. Fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. Count now 0-2 to Kondo. Another final in, but it was a final, it seemed like 2 hours ago, as the Eagles have beaten the Buffaloes 10-0. Right-hander holding again to the set. Gulen checks the runner at second. And here comes the pitch. On the way, fastball swung on and lifted foul behind home plate. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kondo. Or, sorry, no balls, 2 strikes to Kondo still. Hawks looking to add to their lead. Give themselves a little bit of insurance going into the 9th inning. They're up by 1 now. No balls is 2 strikes to Kondo. Pitch on the way. Fastball down. Good stop there by Tamiya. 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. It's the problem what we saw with the Taiwanese in the World Baseball Classic. Their pitchers just did not have command and control, walked too many batters. Well, Gulen's come in, he's walked the batter in the inning, and he's found too much of the plate, which has found too many barrels of the bat by the Hawks. Here comes the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses inside. It is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Gulen trying to wiggle his way out of this jam. Runner at second, Ameno. Runner at first is Shudo. Looking at the bat that Kondo has, looks like he's got a torpedo bat. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses up and away, and now the runners are going to be in motion. With 2 gone in the inning and full count. To Kensuke Kondo. Tetsuro Yanagamachi waiting his turn on deck. Here comes the 3-2 offering. Right-hander again working to the set, checks the runner. Now delivers. Breaking ball misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. So back-to-back walks. That's going to load the bases. Over to third goes Umeno. Over to second, Shudo. It's going to bring Tetsuro Yanagamachi to the plate, and it's going to bring the big boss out of the dugout because he has seen enough. Well, hang out, everybody, because we got a pitching change on our hands. We're going to go to the bullpen. We're going to see what the fighters have in mind here, but that is the end of the night for Gu Lin, as he is going to be taken off of the mound here. That was a pretty quick visit. We'll be back in just a few with all the action after this.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. The fighters are going to the bullpen. They're going to be using their 4th pitcher of the evening, and it is going to be number 40, Roya Shimamoto. So he is going to be taking over here for Gu Lin. So Shimamoto in a tough situation, coming in with the bases loaded. And 2 gone here, as he will be slated to face Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Well, how did we get here in the inning? It was the leadoff single off the bat of Imamiya. And after a wild pitch, he was advanced to second. Ryoya Kurihara struck out. Takashi Umeno had a base hit that put runners on the corners, and Makihara sacrificed home Imamiya with the 6th run of the game for the Hawks. And then it was back-to-back walks to Shudo and Kondo that loaded the bases, and now that's where we're at with Yanagamachi striding in. Bases full of Hawks here, 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th inning. They are smelling blood. They are looking for more. So here comes the first pitch. From the left-hander, it's a fastball missing down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Yanagamachi. So 1 ball, no strikes. Two other games still underway. Swallows clinging to a 3-2 lead in the top of the 9th. As the lefty holds to the set, now delivers. Breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count's 1-1. 5-1 Dragons have the lead, moving to the, well, they're still in the top of the 9th. It looks like they're moving to the bottom of the 9th inning. That game is in Hiroshima. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yanagamachi. And here it is, 6-5 for the Hawks in the bottom of the 8th. Bases full of Hawks. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, chopped softly down the first baseline. Fielded by the pitcher. He throws to first. Oh, it was not an easy play. It's going to go as a ground at 1-3, and that's going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of inning number 8. Well, they get a run in the inning. That's the go-ahead run. 1 run on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 3 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the 9th inning. It is a 6-5 lead for the Hawks. We're anticipating a pitching change. I think it's Sugimoto. We'll find out when we come back in just a couple of moments. Stay with us, everybody, on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. Just as suspected, it's going to be number 40. That's going to be Kazuki Sugiyama coming on in relief, as he will take over here for Yuki Matsumoto. So Kazuki Sugiyama looking to pick up his first save of the season, as he's going to be the fifth pitcher used tonight by the Hawks. When Sawa started, it was Kimura, Hernandez, Matsumoto, and now Sugiyama, as he will be taking over here. He's completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action in this one here. And who is he going to be facing? Well, it's supposed to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the order. It looks like the Kenta Imamiya's night is done, and it's going to be Isami Nomura. He is moving in to play shortstop here, so a defensive replacement for Imamiya, as Nomura is going to be taking over. And the first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats on the third base side. The count is 1-1. One thing I will say is that Sugiyama wastes zero time. When he gets the ball, he is ready to go. So buckle up here. This ninth inning is not going to be a drag, that is for sure. So no balls and 1 strike to Mizuno as the right-hander rocks and delivers. Fastball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. Moving over underneath it is Shuto. Room to make the catch, and we got one fighter gone here in the ninth inning. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Shun Mizutani. And for Mizutani, well, he is reached base every time he's come to the plate tonight. He has singled, he's homered. He also has been hit by a pitch, and he reached on an error back in the first inning to start the ball game. Here's the first pitch from Sugiyama. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Sugiyama ready to rock and roll again here as he rocks into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a call strike. I don't think Mizutani appreciated that one. The home crowd will like it for sure. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Sugiyama rocking and delivering again. There is a fastball swung on and missed, and now Mizutani's in the hole at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And now Sugiyama rocks again. Here's the pitch. Fastball down. Good stop there by Umeno, and it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. We've pretty much seen just fastballs from Sugiyama. I haven't seen anything that has deviated from that. This might be the opportunity to lock Mizutani up and give him something different. So here comes the 2-2 as he rocks and fires. Fastball swung on and missed. I guess not. That's going to be out number 2 here is Mizutani down on strikes. Out retired for the first time this evening. That's going to leave it all up to Kotaro Kiyomiya. And for Kiyomiya, well, he has got 1 hit tonight. It was the big blow in the first inning, a 2-run shot. He's flown out to left. He has struck out twice in his 4 trips to the plate. And the first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the third base coach's box and off of the wall of the temporary seating. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Again, the right-hander delivers a fastball that misses way upstairs. That one there was at 97 on the gun. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There's the 1-1 on the way. Oh, fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2 on Kiyomiya. Well, the Fighters are down now to their final strike as they are waiting to seal their death. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to third, and just as the game has started with an error, well, maybe it's going to end with an error as Ryoya Kurihara let that one get through him. That is his second error of the night. Oh, that is going to hurt, and that's going to bring Franmil Reyes to the plate. So a runner now at first, bringing Reyes to the dish. Unbelievable. Kiyomiya with a self-defense swing. The ball was grounded over to third, and Kurihara all of a sudden forgot how to play third base. So if you're a fan of the Fighters, you just got second wind. If you're a fan of the Hawks, you're stabbing yourself in the eye right now because Kurihara, absolute butcher over there at third base tonight. Second error of the evening. Well, they're going to have a pinch runner over at first base as well as Kiyomiya's day to run is done. And it's going to be Ryo Isobata. So Isobata with some wheels over there at first. And the first pitch coming up here to Reyes as a fastball misses down and away. So you just got to reset yourself. A gap job here could score Isobata all the way from first. He has that kind of wheels. Single here wouldn't score him, but a ball, anything extra bases would. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Counts now 1-1 to Reyes. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's been an entertaining game, this one here, between the Hawks and the Fighters, arguably the best of the opening day. Sugiyama delivers. There's a fastball down. Gets stopped by Ameno. It's now 2 balls and a strike. So a steady diet of fastballs and split finger pitches. Boy, the Carp are not giving up in that game in Hiroshima. It's 5-1 in the bottom of the ninth, but they got a couple of runners aboard. Bottom of the ninth inning, the Swallows have a 3-2 lead over the Bay Stars. Pitch on the way, breaking ball, swung on and missed. I think that's the first breaking ball we've seen from Sugiyama all inning. Reyes was not able to catch up to that. Whatever he threw there, try to bring it again. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. Once this game is done, we'll give you a quick roundup, and then we'll call it a night. We'll come back again later tonight. There's a fastball that, just misses on the outside corner. 3-2 to Reyes. Sugiyama started toward the dugout. I was starting toward the dugout as well. I was looking to wrap this one up. That was a pitch that just missed. So looks like he's going to have to win it a different way. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner Isobata at first is going to be on the move on the pitch. Sugiyama ready to go. He works himself to the set. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. On the way, breaking ball swung on, lifted into deep right center field, giving chase. Shudo, he makes the catch on the warning track, and that is going to do it, as that is going to end the ball game here as Reyes sends it to the deepest part of the park, but right to the glove of Shudo, and he's gone for out number 3. No runs in the inning, no hits. There was an error, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your final score is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks with a 6-5 win over the Fighters. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back after this to wrap it up for you on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Okay, everybody, we're going to close this one out for you. The final score, 6-5 for the Hawks. Seesaw affair, 3 runs in the first inning for the Fighters. A 2-run blow by Kitaro Kiyomiya and a solo shot by Chusei Minami opened the scoring. Bottom of the second inning, it was a 2-run homer off the bat of Ryoya Kurihara. He brought the score to 3-2. The Fighters, in the in the bottom of the third inning, the Hawks hit a solo shot from Kensuke Kondo. That tied the score at 3. In the fourth inning, it was the Fighters, an RBI single off the bat of Tamiya. That gave the Fighters a 4-3 lead. In the bottom of the fourth inning, it was Yamakawa who homered again, solo shot. It was the third homer of the night at that point for the Hawks. It was 4-4 the score. And then in the bottom of the sixth inning, the Hawks went ahead. It was a 2-out double off the bat of Amino, and then Makihara doubled him home, gave the Hawks a 5-4 lead. Fighters tied it up on a solo shot by Mizutani with 1 out in the 7th. Then in the bottom of the 8th inning, it was a single by Imamiya after there was a strikeout by Kurihara. Ameno singled and a sac fly from Makihara brought home Imamiya with the run that ended up being the winning run in this one. 6-5 is your final score. 6-11-2 for the Hawks, 5-9-0 for the Fighters. Again, your final score, 6-5. We're just peeking in on the game between the Dragons and the Carp. Bottom of the 9th inning. Bases loaded for the Carp as they are trailing the Dragons 5-1 in that one. And that game is almost at its conclusion. All right, everybody, I got to get some rest. We'll call you the game tomorrow night. Hopefully you guys can join us. Our friend Chris checking in as well. We appreciate you for popping in here tonight. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow.